Hi, all. Today I want to do a quick mini lecture focusing on Michel Foucault's 1978 publication entitled The History of Sexuality, with a focus on part 5 entitled The Right of Death and Power Over Life. My objective for this mini lecture would be for you to come or walk away from this having a better understanding of what the term biopower means, or biopolitics, a term coined by Foucault in this work. There will be some questions at the end that I hope that you will write about, and hopefully so you can not only identify biopower and what it means, but also identify it in your society around you, because it exists very much today. So just to dive right in, essentially Foucault marks a shift in how power is manifested in societies that happens in the late 17th and early 18th century. So we go from a shift from what he calls sovereign rule, think monarchy, king, queen, what have you, the end-all be-all totalitarian, governing body. This shifts to liberalism, which is essentially a shrinking of government, where the means of power and production are given back to individuals, right? Which we see a rise in the working class and then subsequent middle class as we see it today. So a more democratic form of government. So biopower is marked by this shift. So under sovereign rule, the ruling body was solely responsible for doling out punishment, right? So if someone deviates from whatever expectations set forth by this singular ruling body, they exerted their power and influence and control by either imprisoning them, that person, that body, right, putting them away, or more commonly sending them to war, presumably so they would die, or just simply putting them to death, right? So this is a power over an individual's death, right? That is how power was exerted, which Foucault says is an imperfect form of power that is more easily overthrown. The shift in liberalism, and also the technological and medicinal advancements that came along with it, which allowed scientists and a common knowledge of the body and its ailments, as they call it, as Foucault refers to it as. This new form of government and ruling power then perfected power in the form of biopolitics or biopower. So with the knowledge of the human body and its many ailments, really just unique features that make us unique, ruling bodies could now effectively set forth parameters by which individual bodies, and by bodies Foucault means not necessarily physical bodies, right? This eventually extends into mental health and everything that makes a body is everything that makes an individual, right? Think it, and body is an individual in society. So the ruling governing bodies could now put forth parameters by which individual bodies need to live their lives, right? A certain standard by which to strive, or towards which to strive for, therefore exerting power not only over someone's death and how they die, but now over the entirety of their lives, right? A great example of this would be chattel slavery in America, right? So there was this thing called phrenology, which was a pseudoscience which looked at craniums, physical skulls, and people thought that the shape of the skull determined and was extrapolated onto mental capacity. So slave owners could effectively say that black individuals were inferior to their white counterparts, right? This is biopower. Heinous, but biopower. So what I want you to consider in terms of questions at the end of this video, and I hope to display your understanding, is take a few minutes and write about, was there ever a time where you followed a rule in society just because, even though there was nothing enforcing it, right? There was a standard set forth that you adhered to for no reason other than because it was given to you, right? There are many different examples of this, right? It can be like issues with the law, right? Think like going through it, like stopping a stop sign when nobody's around. just because that's the expectation, even though there's no reason to stop, all the way to, right, body image. This does also branches into feminism, racism very clearly. So run with that. How is this an exertion of biopower? The example you gave. And then what other areas of biopower or exertions of biopower can you identify in society around you? So answer those questions, and I will read your answers. Thank you so much.